If you want to be successful in life and you're a gamer, are you in a situation where you can't actually be successful because you are a gamer? The reason I'm asking this is mainly because I am a gamer. I consider myself considerably successful and I run my own business. I do YouTube, I have a full-time job, and I get along with my friends and family pretty well. So I asked GPT, have gamers got a low chance of being successful in life? And the answer was no, not at all. Being a gamer doesn't mean someone has a low chance of being successful in life. In fact, gaming can actually help develop several valuable skills and even lead to direct career opportunities. Here's a more balanced view. I've already read through this, and some of it I agree with, and some of it I do not agree with. The reason being is I will tell you why once I get to the actual point. So it increases your problem solving skills as well as cognitive skills. This really depends on what game you're playing. If you're playing games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, there's no problem solving skills or cognitive skills that you're going to be learning. So it depends on what game that you're playing, depends if you're actually going to be getting this or not. Second would be teamwork and communication. Once again, it really depends what game you're playing. If you're playing single player games, I enjoy single player games. During single player games, you don't actually interact with anybody. You don't interact with anyone besides you and the controller. Best way that I can mitigate teamwork and communication is have real friends, meet them in real life, be social at your work, also on lunch breaks, still talk to people, go out and socialize, and still go to the market, go to the mall, and still be a human being. Number 3 is persistence and resilience. Gamers often deal with failure, so you might die in a boss fight, you might fail a mission, whatever the case may be, and you will learn how to improve if you keep trying, and this can be used in a useful mindset manner in any career. This is yes and no true. It's not really the same thing because I've had a job for like several years now, and you're not meant to fail, but you can always learn from your failures. You don't have to learn this through gaming. You can just learn this through day-to-day life, because if you're a baby, you're learning how to crawl or walk. The way you learn is you get up, you fumble around, you fall over, get up, fumble around, fall over, do it 20 more times, and eventually you know how to stand and take a couple of steps. Eventually that turns into a few steps, and before you know it, you're walking and your parents are like, oh my god, my child is actually able to walk, yay, which is a very cool moment for the parent. Number 4, I didn't necessarily agree with. Careers in gaming, and the industry is getting bigger with Twitch and YouTube, all that sort of stuff. It's getting bigger and bigger. You can be game developers. The problem with game developers is your job comes and your job goes, and it's not really consistent. Streamers and being a content creator, look, I'm a content creator more than a streamer. I used to do streaming, but I fell out of it pretty much because I didn't like it. I didn't have an audience at the time, so therefore for me, I felt like it wasn't worth pursuing. Content creation is definitely something you can do on the side. I do content creation on the side. You can do content creation on the side, and if you are very consistent and due diligent and you are consistent with this, then there's a potential chance that you can make this into a full-on live thing. Esports players, look, the chances are you being an esport player is maybe 1%. It's not that great. You need to be at the top of your game, and depending where you live. In Australia, no one becomes an esport player, unfortunately. It's mainly in America, Europe, Asia. Now, before I continue on with the video, remember that there are 49 more spots in the free community, which is Side Quest Society. So if you want to level up your life as well as still be able to play games, then definitely join this. Right now it's free. There's a free link in the description. The reason it's free is because I want people to come in, I want to build it, then possibly charge people in the future. So I want to get 50 very dedicated people who want to balance their life, or they're struggling to balance their life, and have me help them. We can go on group calls, Discord chats, all that sort of stuff to help you progress within your own life. Because if I can do content creation, have a full-time job, be a son to my parents, be a partner to someone, as well as have actual real legitimate friends and still play games, then anyone can do it. Because I am pretty lazy. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So if you want to join that, that'll be the first link in the description. If you want help, then I generally recommend that you pretty much join before it's paid. Transferable skills, it really depends on what you do, man. Like, you can't really transfer a skill of moving your buttons on a joystick. Now, what I found the most interesting is the part where it talks about time management. This is a thing that gamers aren't really good for. A lack of direction is a thing gamers aren't really good for, and it can have health impacts. Time management, look, the best way that you can do it is understand that pretty much if you play games all the time, real life won't progress. As much as that sucks, as much as you want to play games, make money, all that sort of stuff, you need to still do your commitment. Especially if you're a guy, you can still play games for maybe half an hour, maximum 1 hour per day, especially if you're having a full-time job, especially if you got kids, because you have to be responsible as a human being and dedicate a little bit of time to having fun. You still need to go to the gym, still need to work out, still need to work on your side hustle, because everybody has a side hustle that they want to do and they don't do it. So you need to do it, make your future better, do everything you can, and eventually, maybe one day once you've made it, you can actually relax, play video games a little bit more, but you can't take your foot off the gas. Another interesting point that I found very interesting was a lack of direction. The reason that I think this is a big problem is because games can be, one, very distracting, so therefore you don't really think about your future, you just think of the present moment and what is currently happening right in front of you. You don't think about next week, next month, next year, next 5 or 10 years. You just think of the current moment, which is not a good thing, because if all you're doing is playing video games, you got no job, you got no sort of side hustle thing that's going on, and all you're doing is playing games, right where you are right at the moment is where you're going to be in 5, 10, 15 years, and you might still be living with your parents, you might still be broke, you might not have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and that is not where you want to be. So the way that I pretty much overcame this is because I thought to myself, well, for me, what's my goals? My goal is to make money, because I know what it's like to not have money, and it sucks. I don't want my kids to go through that. I want a Porsche 911, so that's a lot of money, and I want to be financially independent in the future, where I can, quit my job, be safe, or I can transition to another company, or I can move up in the company that I'm currently at, but I don't want to rely on that company as my only source of income, because what if I get sick, what if something bad happens to me, what if a company lets me off, what if multiple scenarios happen that are out of my control. What I can do is I can be responsible, and everything that is in my control, which is my effort at work and my ability to create content on the side, because if I create content on the side, that can turn into a potential income stream. And like I said, I want a Porsche 911. That's crazy expensive. Can I do that with my current job? No, maybe when I'm 60, but I don't want to be driving a Porsche 911 when I'm 60. I preferably do it in my 20s or early 30s. So think about your future. If you don't ever think about your future, maybe once a week spend 20-30 minutes. Ask yourself, am I really, really happy? If things were the exact same in the next 5-10 years, would I be happy? If not, why? If yes, why? Then dissect that into a point where, well, do I need to change it? Do I not need to change it? What needs to happen? And write out a legitimate plan. Write down this on your Apple Notes, write it down on pen and paper. Stick it up somewhere where you can read it and understand that you doing something that is difficult besides gaming can possibly lead you to that life. Health impacts. I know many gamers that are pretty much alcoholics. All they do is party. They do recreational drugs. They have a lack of sleep. They never work out. They are fat. They are genuinely lazy, and their diet is pretty much poor. I was never really fat. I didn't really have a terrible diet, but I did lack in the gym, and I didn't have a girlfriend. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but my life was a little bit crappy, and I wouldn't blame gaming for that. I just blame my lack of ambition. So what I did was, well, if I fix my habits, such as, well, I'm playing too many games, so if I go to the gym, if I work out, if I eat correctly, if I take care of my health, and I still play games, my life will definitely be going in a better direction than playing games 10 hours a day or 3, 4, 5 hours a day, depending if I have school or if I have work. Weekends, it'd normally be worse. I might be playing 10, 12 hours a day, eating very little and not going to the gym, not getting any exercise. And before you know it, several years later, I'm doing this. I maybe play games 3, 4 hours a week, and my life is progressing to where I want it to be. Now, look at your life. Are you progressing to where you want to be or not? That's a good question you can ask yourself. So, to summarize all of this, have gamers got a low chance of being successful? It depends on the person that you are, but if you aren't happy with your life, look at what's wrong with it, look what can be improved, look at what's in your control, and start from there. Then literally make a detailed plan on how you can fix it. If you're poor, what can you do? You can maybe get a job. Then you can maybe start a side hustle. Then maybe you can turn that into a business. If you haven't got great looks, you can start going to the gym. If you lack a ability in your studies, well, why is that happening? Understand that maybe it's gaming, maybe you get distracted doom scrolling. There's a multitude of factors. Write down what the core problem is and how you can fix it. And literally, you have to force yourself for several days to understand that doing this hard thing like quitting gaming or quitting doom scrolling, it's going to be genuinely painful and it's going to be hard to do. But if several days you stay consistent with it and you push through the actual pain, because your brain will be telling you to not do this, go play games, go doom scroll, go watch some random TikTok video instead of doing what you should be doing. My brain does this constantly to me all the time. Can you stop it? No, but you can push past it. It can't control you. You can't grab you by your neck and be like, you need to play games. Understand that it's your brain is telling you what to do and you don't have to necessarily listen to it. So if this video made sense, or if you enjoyed the video in any way, shape or form, leave a like, subscribe, join the web community. I want to get 50 people in there, 50 active people preferably, and I want to help you guys pretty much balance your life, gaming, all that sort of stuff, and just be on the journey of self-improvement while still being able to play games at the same time. And if you guys got any other questions or any other videos that you want me to make a video about in the future, then definitely drop a comment on that, or in the WAP community I might make a video on that if it's interesting enough for most of the people for a pretty public answer. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.